Thought Bubble Audio.
Look, up in the sky!
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
My name's the dog, Indiana.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in pints?
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott!
I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. With me again, back by popular demand, probably, is my wife, Mary. How are you today?
Probably, I don't know. Do they like me? Do they really like me?
Yeah, I mean, I got a few messages from people who are like, that was better than Frank.
That's not true. No. Nobody beats Frank.
Nobody beats Frank, I know. It was weird that it was...
I will not be a Yoko Ono.
No.
And break up the infamous podcast duo.
I mean, I've known Frank longer than I've known you.
This
so
is true.
That's, it's very possible that you could be the Yoko.
Nah.
No. Does that make me John, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. John's great. I'm good with that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't want to be George. I'm sorry, George. I just don't want to be George Harrison.
Yeah.
Who's cool, very talented. I just don't want to be him.
No. I saw advertisement for Ringo Starr in Providence for a couple of weeks, and which we were returning our tickets because we were supposed to see him in 2020, and then pandemic, and then more pandemic. He was supposed to come in June, and we're like, yeah, we're finally going. And then his band got COVID. The all-star band all got COVID. So we're like, dang nabbit, I guess we're not going. And it's the same week as our daughter's birthday, and it's the same day as her 1-year checkup appointment, and we're like, who's gonna babysit the kid? What if she's having a reaction from her vaccine, or if she's feeling crummy, or whatever? So we're like, let's just cancel.
Yeah, no,
just I was really bummed.
Bad juju all around.
Yeah,
though.
I was really bummed though.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's okay.
We can just watch him on the YouTubes or something like the kids do these days.
Yeah. The TikTok.
Exactly. Mary, what are you drinking?
I am still drinking seltzer, as always.
Good for you. Seltzer's a great thing to have, isn't it?
It is. It's always refreshing.
Remember when I first started bringing seltzer into the house and you were like, I don't want seltzer
I don't
in this
like bubbly
house.
drinks.
Yeah.
I do secretly wonder if it's like eating away at my bone density because of all the carbonation.
I don't think it is.
I think these things...
I don't think
the
it
soda's
is.
not good for your bones because of the carbonation.
Nothing in soda is good for you,
I know,
though.
but the carbonation specifically is not good. I have to look this up. I have to do research.
You know what you can do? You can crack that can and let it sit for 7 to 8 hours and then come back to
and
it.
It'll be flat.
Yeah.
Flat. Or I could just have a splash of lemon juice in regular water from my fridge.
But the acid is eating away your teeth.
Not if you brush your teeth.
That's true. Are you going to brush your teeth while drinking your lemon
Okay.
juice?
All right. This is a sidebar.
Sidebar. We haven't even gotten to the main sandbar yet.
This is a pre-bar.
Yeah.
This is a pre-bar to the sandbar.
Exactly. Speaking of sandbar, I am drinking a Save the Sound light lager from the Stony Brewery. See what I did there? That was a great...
That was an
was
excellent
great segue.
Making some sort of estuarine reference.
I would make that the title, but I have no idea how to spell that.
Estuarine.
I'm not going to make that the title.
E-S-T-U-A-R. Estuarine. I-R-I-N-E.
I stopped listening after E.
EST.
So, yeah, no, just the first letter. E. I was adjusting the volume levels. Anyway,
what are we here to talk about?
many years ago, on a rainy Saturday, rainy Tuesday.
It was 20 years ago.
We decided to. Do you want me to talk?
Watch Disney movies. Sorry, it's past my bedtime.
Yeah, I know.
I'm loopy.
I know. We decided to watch every theatrical Disney release in order. And then we realized that many of them were really boring. And we talked about 5 of them like 2 years ago. The episode is Askew Twigs. I will link it in the show notes. You can go back to it. We talked about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, and Bambi. And then we were like, great, we'll we'll be back for the next 5. And then the next 5 were Saludos Amigos, The Three Caballeros, Make Mine Music, and Song of the South 1, 2, 3, 4, and Fun and Fancy Free.
Which we didn't watch any of those except for Saludos Amigos and The Three Caballeros.
No, we watched some of these. Well, we couldn't watch Song of the South. It wasn't available.
Gone. Make Mine Music, I don't think was available. Or we watched it. I bet you we fell asleep. I bet you, like,
I can tell you
$20.
I can tell you we watched it or not. I guess technically this. No, I guess it's technically I look up, but I log every new movie that I.
Oh yeah, we did not watch Fun and Fancy Free. I don't think. I don't know if that one was available either on Disney Plus.
Make Mine Music, we did not watch because it was not available. I do not think. But I'm pretty sure we watched Fun and Fancy Free.
Maybe we didn't. I fell asleep. I don't know. I may have been pregnant by then.
Yeah, we definitely watched Fun and Fancy Free. That's Jack and the Beanstalk. And
I definitely was pregnant and fell asleep.
Yeah. So anyway, so we kind of fell off the bandwagon, but then we were like, let's get back on the bandwagon. And so now here we are on the bandwagon, and we're just going to breeze through these movies in the 40s and then start talking about ones that we actually care about until the end of this episode. So, let's start with Saludos Amigos. It's a movie.
Saludos Amigos is like literally a travel movie. It's an animated travel movie where they're like, let's go to South America. And they're like, here's Brazil, here's Argentina, here's Peru, here's the Andes Mountains. And they're just like showing you cool stuff. So some of it is like, our Disney artists went to Peru.
Yeah, so it's not like really animated. There's an animated segment.
Yeah, with like fun songs and whatever.
Right. But it's definitely, we have no money. And so here's this like little movie.
Because like Latin inspired jazz was big in the 40s. So
well, get that. So it's World War II. Pinocchio and Snow White and Pinocchio and Fantasia were all expensive, and they didn't make their money back on Fantasia at all. I think they only barely made their money back on Fantasia like decades later, like after like the re-release of VHSs and everything like that. And then Dumbo and Bambi were on the cheaper side because they needed to save money from not like closing the studio, to not close the studio. So here comes Saludos Amigos, and it's a movie that I never need to revisit ever again.
No, I think I like it better than Three Caballeros, honestly.
The Three Caballeros, I was like, I like the song, the Three Caballeros. But the only reason truthfully, the only reason that I really like that one is because I had a Disney sing-along video as a kid, and that was one of the songs. It was that, and then it was Zorro immediately after that. Out of the night when the full moon is bright. That song is in my head at least once a month.
I had Three Caballeros on VHS, like a copied VHS, because my dad used to make like copies.
So you're outing him as like a pirate, like
just for our house. They're probably still in their house, but I remember watching that one a lot as a kid. Just because I remember the Three Caballeros song, and then the Have you been to Bahia? And then there's like that lady singing, and she's in like the fun dress. That's like the only thing I remember from And the Little Donkey Who Flies. Like I remember like the segments. So the movies are just like segments. They're like a montage basically of fun songs, and Donald Duck being annoying. Donald Duck. He's just so annoying. I don't know why. Yeah. I like the little parrot, Joe, and he's my favorite. I think he's like the saving grace of the film. But
yeah, and you know what? I don't care. Yeah. I'll never go back to it.
Nope, I'm good.
And so Song of the South, we obviously couldn't watch because it's extraordinarily racist, and Disney will not release it. You can buy it in like
the South.
Yeah, you can buy it in like one town in one shop in the South for some reason. I can't remember the reason, but you can buy hard copies of it there legally. And that's it. But there was Zippity Doodah on that same sing-along video that I had, that you obviously had. And then we get to Fun and Fancy Free, which was Bongo, which has something to do with Jiminy Cricket, but I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, see, I know. And then there was Mickey and the Beanstalk, which is pretty fun.
It's cute. Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah. And then Melody Time, which we also watched.
We did?
Yep. Which was just
definitely asleep for that one.
Yeah, that was Johnny Appleseed and like all that. Yeah, right. And they're all fine. They're like obviously just like they're trying so hard to like save money and whatever else. And then you get to the classic, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Yes.
I loved this one.
It's cute. Yeah, it is very cute. What we were mostly impressed by was that the vocabulary in the script, who narrates it? Why am I like...
Bing Crosby.
It's Bing Crosby. So Bing Crosby is narrating, and he's saying like, oh, this pedagogue or whatever, like you're talking about Ichabod.
Ichabod,
like, you never hear that in a kid's movie now, like, because they're just like, the vocabulary is so like sophisticated.
Yeah, they were talking about Ichabod as a schoolmaster, as a teacher, and they're like his like educational pedagogy, and you're like, what?
Who would even know what pedagogy means?
I guess me as a teacher.
Yeah, but why, how would an 8-year-old kid watching this?
And then even describing what that is takes work. You're like, oh, well, it's like your educational philosophy. It's like what you believe in and how you this. And like, it requires a whole thing.
It's just good context clues.
Yeah.
You're just assuming you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I like Wind in the Willows. So I like The Adventures of Mr. Toad. To a point, I'm always like, yes. Like after a while, I'm like, the Badgers and the...
They get tiring
whatever.
after
The
they're
Weasels,
loud
not the Badgers.
after a while too. Like a lot of these movies, you're just like, okay, I'm overstimulated. Like enough.
Yeah, that one is much. But I love the Sleepy Hollow portion of that one because I make you watch it on
every Halloween. You have to watch it. It's very cute, along with our Great Pumpkin.
Yes, of course. But I mean, like, you survive. I mean, it's like, you know.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm usually like, let's watch Great Pumpkin. I'm like, okay, Ichabod Crane. I like get through that song. I'm like,
so what is really funny about the Ichabod Crane song is like he's like heading through town, and it's like a precursor to Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Because like they're all singing about how weird Ichabod is. Yeah. He's got his nose stuck in a book.
Yep.
That funny girl, that Ichabod. Like, you know, like, yeah. So I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's the bit where their animation starts to creep up again. Like there's some really cool stuff that they do in like a lot of layered techniques that they do in Sleepy Hollow and in Mr. Toad. And so Wind in the Willows. So I like that. And that's also the storybook thing, you know, like go to the shelf and pull the book down.
I love that. That's like, oh, I have like, it just makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Like there's just that like feeling where they like open the books and you're like, wow, somebody put a lot of work into like making the books look nice too, which you appreciate. Not just the whole movie looks nice, but the books also look really good.
Yep. And then we entered like the second golden age, right? This silver age of Disney with Cinderella in 1950. And I wasn't up on it the way that I thought I was. Like it's really pretty. Like
it's pretty.
Like you can tell they're like investing time and effort and talent back into this because they were like, okay, clearly Snow White worked for us, so let's go back to the drawing board and pull another Disney princess down. And there's some good stuff about like when it's over, I'm ready for it to be over.
Yeah, I like the beginning. A dream is a wish your heart makes. The little mice and it's cute. I love the
happy birthday.
Yeah. Let's go serve it to your cat.
Yeah.
I like that. I love when she gives him like the little shirt and hat where she has like mouse clothes pre-made and like a little wardrobe. But the best, I think, honestly, my favorite part of the whole movie is when she's scrubbing the floor, sing sweet nightingale, and she's just like, and the bubbles are floating around her, and it's so pretty. I actually sing that song to our daughter a lot, and she's just like mesmerized by it, and it's easy to sing.
Can you do the wheezy mesmerized sound? Where she like look and goes, ah. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
It's all these very cute noises. She also goes when she sees seagulls. So
so you know,
it's pretty cute.
Kids be making sounds
so pure.
Yeah. So maybe it's because I know the story of Cinderella. And so maybe like that's partly why I'm not into it. But at the same time, maybe it's not meant for my age group. Like, so we don't have anything to say about Alice in Wonderland.
Not much, except it's okay.
It's okay. It's not even like that beautifully animated.
No, it's not that pretty.
It's kind of flat, actually.
It's loud.
So it is loud.
Everybody's like shouting about things. You're like, can you not shout?
It's like the fourth Harry Potter movie. Everyone's just shouting.
Please stop shouting
all the time.
Be quiet.
Let's go to Peter Pan, February 5th, 1953. This was an all-time favorite in my house. Growing up, we loved playing Peter Pan with paper, construction paper hats and all that fun stuff. I always took to Captain Hook. Maybe that's because my brother always took to Peter Pan. So it was either Be a Lost Boy, Wendy, John, or Michael, or the next best character.
Hook, yeah.
So I always liked Captain Hook. And he's kind of an idiot in these movies. I mean, I guess he's kind of an idiot in general when his main adversary is 10 and he can't figure out how to beat a 10-year-old.
I know, but if you read Peter Pan, you're like, man,
Peter Pan's dark.
This is serious.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
I love killing. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, like he actually kills the kids. It's not like, oh yeah, if you lose, we lose, whatever.
And the Lost Boys kill pirates.
Yeah. It's like actually very serious. But I like Peter Pan. I like the story of Peter Pan, but I'm not sure if I'm like in love with the Disney Peter Pan. Like I don't know if it's really my most favorite. It has its moments. Like I like You Can Fly, the song You Can Fly.
Yeah.
It's cute. He flew.
Truthfully, I like the stage musical better than the Disney movie as an adult. I think I'm still sick. Even watching it, I was like, I think I'm still sick of this movie from when I was a kid.
Yeah, maybe.
Watched it so
because
much.
I watched it a lot as a kid as well.
Yeah. It's just there are moments that really stick with me, like Smee running and like catching the bottle on his finger.
Captain.
Yeah. I just if I had to like go back and pick a version of Peter Pan that I'd want to go back to, it wouldn't be this one.
No, although Tinkerbell is what you'd call iconic, because then they used Tinkerbell for literally everything, all of their stuff afterwards. Like she introduced movies and this, that, and the other thing. And then I remember there's like a video of Walt Disney being like, "Oh, hey, Tink," and like talking to Tinkerbell, and he's like explaining something. I have no idea where I saw that.
I think that's The Wonderful World of Disney somewhere.
Maybe it exists somewhere, because I remember watching it.
Yep,
like,
I've seen that
weirdly
too
in my memory. But
yes, but I love the story of Peter Pan. Like,
yes, me too.
I love Peter Pan, Finding Neverland, Hook. Like, I'm always in for a new Peter Pan adaptation. Like, I will watch it. Like, most of them are not great, but I will. Like, I'm there either way. Disney's is kind of low on the totem pole now, which is kind of a Peter Pan reference.
Because there's totem pole
massively.
Oh my gosh! Like it's real bad.
It's not even like their representation of Native people is not even like, oh, it's like kind of it's like oh, you got some stuff wrong, like Pocahontas. It's like
egregiously bad.
Egregiously bad.
It's terrible. It's really terrible. Even just
what's the song? Why does the red man red? Yeah,
but even like the voices they use for the people is like these very caricature-y, cartoony, like really ridiculous.
Yeah, which I feel it was not J.M. Barrie's intention. Like truly,
probably not, because, but I mean, probably wasn't great to be like, and we also hang out with the savages sometimes, like that. But at that time that it was written, people were people are still prejudiced. We shouldn't say that, but like people were like social norms were different, so that was just widely accepted to say something like that back then, which is like not nice and not a great representation of an entire group of people. But like the movie just took it to. I feel like it's because it was like, what year did that come out? The 50s? 53. So that's like the height of like TV westerns, and like that was like really Western movies, and like that was really becoming like a huge thing. Like I don't know, you talk to anybody like our parents' age, like, oh yeah, I grew up on like cowboys and Indians, and like so that was probably why they were like, oh yeah, the Indians, whatever, and like making a character of it.
But I mean, but Peter Pan was written decades and decades before Disney's version of it.
Yeah, so. It just feels like a crummy Western.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Movie or TV show. Like if you watch Bonanza, you're like, that guy's supposed to be a Native American. You know what I mean? And it's just because they make him talk a certain way, and like this weird mean stereotype, and it's like actually an Italian guy,
right,
with a wig.
It's just not good.
It's just not good. None of it was good, and I'm so glad that that is like Native artists are just changing that entirely, and really making it their own and coming out with excellent stuff. We watched Reservation Dogs, and it's,
by the way, it's
so
a new
good.
episode we haven't watched yet.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. So I'm glad they're like making a comeback and really like putting that in its place where it belongs in the past.
Yep, exactly. Let's talk Lady and the Tramp, which was also a favorite in my house growing up. But it's one that I was like, it's fine. It's really pretty, which I did not remember. I remember it opens with like the snowy village and like all this stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, that was like,
this is nice.
It's really nice. And then by the end, I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like the dog catcher, the this, the that. But I feel like it really applies to our life because we have Zinnia, and we adopted her before we had our baby. And
the dog, people clarify.
Zinnia's the dog, yes. Eloise is the baby. But Zinnia we got before we had Eloise, and now I feel like Zinnia feels like Lady because she's just like, oh, the humans can't pay attention to me right now because the baby's crying and this, that, the other. I feel really bad a lot of the times.
I do think about that
all the time.
I think about the relatability of Lady and the Tramp, and I feel like it shouldn't be as relatable as it is. But
you're
it's
like, oh my gosh, yeah. And I mean, and Zinnia loves Eloise. They get along splendidly. They are dear friends. But it is hard when you're like, okay, this baby's screaming, and the dog's like, pet me. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a favorite of yours and mine. I dare to say one of Disney's top 10, if not their top 5, and that is Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, it's so pretty.
1959.
So pretty.
It is
the
very
music's
pretty.
great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a few, I would say, reasons for that. So, I mean, it's based off of, the music is based off of the ballet by Tchaikovsky. So you're already running like a, I don't know, I would
high level of
you're
good
already
music.
of good music, and so it's already at a level. It's Lady and the Tramp did it first, which is also why it's pretty, but it was shot for an animated movie. It was shot in widescreen, and so instead of feeling kind of blocky, it feels large in scope because of the way that it was animated and what the cameras that they were using and stuff. And so you're like, you really get the scope of the kingdom and whatever else. And what's the designer that they brought in? Do you remember his name?
Oh my gosh.
That's what I would.
No,
That's what I
you're
couldn't
gonna have to look
remember.
that up because it's so pretty and like there's a distinct style to it, which a lot of these like cheaper films you're like, oh yeah, that's a tree, whatever. But these are like the trees are like distinct. You know exactly what movie it's from because they're like square, but like the painted backgrounds are beautiful. The colors that he used were beautiful. It's just like I just love it. It's stunning. It's my favorite of the princess movies, even above Snow White, which is absolutely beautiful as well. The level of detail. But I think this one is. It's got the music. It's got the art aspect to it. It's actually quite funny. I think it's funny. I don't know. The three fairies are just my favorite with when they're baking the cake.
Well,
Chisp. What's a chisp?
well, so here's the make it blue. The thing that I really like about Sleeping Beauty is that she's not the main character. The main character are 3 middle-aged fairies.
Yep, basically.
Like,
yeah, and they're driving the whole thing, which is why I was so PO'd when they came out with Maleficent, because they're like, let's take the badass villain and make a cool movie about her and like kind of make Aurora more of a character or whatever. And what did they do with the fairies? They made them these stupid, doofus, oblivious babysitters is literally what they reduced them to. And I'm like, they literally do everything.
Everything. They save
Beauty.
everybody.
They do everything.
Even the prince does not save people
Correct.
the way that they
enable him to.
Yes.
They're like, here, take this sword of truth and this shield and
Right.
like, we're going to stop the arrows and turn them into flowers so you don't get shot.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
yeah,
it's
they
like,
are everything.
they're instrumental in the plot. Don't knock the 3 fairies. So I will always boycott Maleficent. The only thing that I agree with that film is the design of Maleficent. She looks fantastic.
She was, and Angelina Jolie did a very nice job.
She did.
I
Yeah,
thought,
she played it well.
Yes, the one scene into which she actually like shows up and she's like, ha 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 ha, like I will curse this baby because I didn't get invited to the baptism or whatever. like,
ooh.
yeah. Well, I'm telling you, when I'm not invited to a baby's anything, I'm like, great.
It's like
Fantastic.
one less thing on my calendar.
Fan-friggin-tastic.
No, I don't think she's very happy.
Yeah. Nope. Okay, so
Who's the guy?
I don't know. I can't find exactly who I'm looking for,
Don't
but
you have a book downstairs?
yeah, it's downstairs, but I don't want to go, and I know exactly where it is, but I just don't want to run and get it. So I think it's Kay Nielsen, because I know that he was a Danish illustrator, and he
the
also
name doesn't sound familiar. I feel like I would know the name.
right. He also did the sketch basis for Night on Bald Mountain from Fantasia, and that's like where they got him from. But then production designer I read this from Wikipedia. Production designer Ken Anderson was impressed with Nielsen's artwork, but felt his soft pastel paintings would be difficult to translate to animation. Disney then tasked John Hench to interpret Nielsen's artwork without losing the charm by using opaque cell paint. Additionally, Hench observed the famed unicorn tapestries at the Cloisters located in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. When Hench returned to Disney Studios, he brought reproductions of the tapestries and showed them. Disney replied, yeah, we could use that style for Sleeping Beauty. Even Earl joined in 51, tasked with the backgrounds. Oh, it's Even Earl.
Evan Earl.
It's
Yeah.
Evan Earl. That's what it is.
That's yeah. There we go. We found him.
It was a good combo, but it's just the design is just extraordinary. It's not, you know what it is? It's not the Disney house style. It's there are parts of it that are, I guess, like with like the wide eyes and things, but they don't
Not really.
Yeah, but they don't. It doesn't look like Cinderella. It doesn't look like Snow White. It exists in its own, I don't know, tapestry, right?
Yeah,
You know?
it does look like a tapestry. It looks like you're watching a tapestry.
Yes.
And it feels like it belongs in the time period that it's set.
Yes, and I mean, it's an ambiguous time period.
True, it is. No,
for-
doesn't Philip say it? This is the 13th century.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Father, please.
Yeah.
It's like,
Scums,
Go, go.
scums,
Scums.
scums.
you're going to marry a princess.
Yeah, and I just there's a lot of good, I think there's even like a lot of good character development that gets lost in other movies. And like the villain is actually scary. Like Maleficent is an actually scary villain. Like when I was a kid, I liked Sleeping Beauty a lot, mostly because of Maleficent. Like I loved her, like her evil fortress and like her minions and like all this stuff. It's very like Mordor. Like when you like, it's totally.
Yeah, she's probably the most convincing. Although the witch from Snow White is pretty creepy.
She is. She's creepy, but not like I wasn't nervous around. Like Maleficent feels evil.
They also give her a great theme.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, it's like really scary. Well, even when we were watching it,
eerie.
like the sequence of Aurora like getting hypnotized, leading to the spinning wheel.
Yeah, there's the little voice going, Aurora.
Yeah, right. There's that. But even like the eyes floating in and out of focus, like, you know, like just her eyes, like it's like genuinely scary. Like if I was like if I watched that in a live action movie, like alone, that's like I'm a little shook. And so I think that's just staying power to Sleeping Beauty in a way that some of the other ones I could just easily forget about. And I feel comfortable saying that because, like I said, I loved Peter Pan as a kid, Lady and the Tramp, like. And, you know, they just don't last in my memory the same way. But
makes me so sad when people are like, I didn't like Sleeping Beauty. I think that's the worst one. I'm like,
how do you think that's the worst one? Like, what? Do you not I mean, like
she doesn't do anything because it's all about girl power. And it's like,
the fairies. like, what do you mean? Like, who cares if
she's a strong, independent woman?
Like,
you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, they were
she's
three.
the victim. Like but like you have these 4 really with Maleficent.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's all women.
It's
who
all
are battling
women.
each other.
Yeah,
and it's like the kings are useless.
Right. and the prince is literally a pawn of the fairies. Like, do this. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. No problem.
Yep.
Yeah. It's great. It is. It's really great. And I just don't understand. I think it's because the Disney princess herself maybe doesn't do anything. Like she falls back into the
the prince will save me, and everybody's like, I don't like that because feminism, you know. And it's like, well, look at the whole picture, people.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Come on.
Yeah, you also have these like other strong, independent characters of these other women, that are like really like sticking it to the man or whatever, and to men, not the man, I guess. They're actually like the kingdom, I guess. But I don't know.
Sit back, everybody. We got this.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and they're trusted to
do
this,
it.
right? They're like, we'll keep her, don't worry. And you're like, and they're like, okay, cool.
Yep.
Like no problem. Tough for the parents though. Can you imagine like going to your kid's baptism and then someone shows up and they're like, I'm going to kill your child
in 16 years. Enjoy yourselves now.
And so then the solution is we'll just take your daughter from you and you'll never see or talk to her or know anything about her.
Post 16 birthday, because then she'll be safe. Kind of thing. It was like, ugh.
Right, but by that point, especially in the 13th century, she's practically an adult.
An adult, yeah. They've missed everything.
They've missed all of the like raising everything. Can
you tell we're parents?
Yeah, right. I know.
They're missing the little waves and the little giggles and all that. It's like, but it's so special.
Yeah, they got like a couple of, I would assume, weeks of it, and then that was it.
Yep.
Yeah, done. Yeah, which is
so sad.
I know. I don't think I've ever really thought about that from that angle before.
The little baby is just like spirited away,
and that's why they sing Scumps, I guess.
Scump.
The
little lute player gets drunk under the table.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's like
also something that you really don't see in movies. You don't see characters getting drunk.
No,
that was so specific to old animation. Smoking.
Anytime when you see like a rating on something like at the streaming service, it's like, oh, this is rated this because there's depictions of violence, nudity, and smoking. And we're like, smoking, like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, I feel
Which
like
section would you like to see? Smoking.
Yeah. Of the jambalaya, but make mine non-spicy.
Okay. Get something else, Pierce Brosnan. Get something else. Get I don't know. Get the baked haddock.
literally anything else on that menu that's non-spicy.
I'm allergic to pepper. I'm going to get the jambalaya.
The funny
jambalaya
thing
is like
the funny thing
ridden
is,
with pepper.
Like he could have gotten anything, and he could have put
pepper on it. Yeah, true.
Daniel could have put in. Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have known that he was allergic.
This is a side tangent.
Anyway,
back to Disney.
Yeah, no,
we should
actually,
talk Mrs. Doubtfire one day.
We could do that.
I would do a deep dive on Mrs. Doubtfire.
But we're actually done. The episode is over.
Okay.
So we will come back for the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Don't worry, I'll be back.
Where they like get better and then they get worse. I'm looking at you, Fox in the Hound.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway,
apparently the book is even worse than
don't
the
make
movie.
vomit sounds into the microphone. People be listening to this. Anyway, you can find us at beerwithgeeks.com and Gmail and Facebook probably, and you can rate and review us on iTunes and all other places podcasts can be found. ThoughtBubbleAudio.com to check out all other Thought Bubble Audio shows. Patreon.com/ThoughtBubbleAudio to support all Thought Bubble Audio shows. Mary, thanks for coming on. I'll see you forever, I guess.
Yay!
Right? Yeah. Forever.
Forever.
Anyway, cheers.
Cheers.